Hello, hi, hey. Sorry, just checking that it works. And I'll start recording. Yeah, okay. We are now live. No, I'm joking. No, we're good. Hey, if you're listening to this, yeah, I'll do a quick intro. So hey, if you're listening to this, you are already dead. No, I'm joking. If you're listening to this, it's me, PyrokidSosa, and
Captainjjb84.
Yeah, and we're talking about E3. I know E3 has happened like a lifetime ago, it seems like, but you know, we have a lot of stuff to get off our chest, you know, so let's get right into it. Let's start off with the best thing about E3, and that was Google Stadia. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I don't understand the whole purpose of that entire console's existence. I don't know who it's for, who it's supposed to be for. Is it supposed to be for like rich people who can afford like fiber optic internet that has like no data caps and stuff? Or I don't know.
It'll be fascinating to see when it comes out though. Like, you know, people are already, what's it called, writing it off, saying, oh, it'll be terrible, it'll be a failure and all that. Like, I don't know, honestly. It could go either way, I think.
It depends. It feels like one of those things where it's like actual gamers and stuff, they'll be like, no way. But like people who kind of like dabble in it or don't really care as much, they'd be like, okay, I might try it. But the thing is, there's a lot more of those people than there are of the former. So yeah, you're right, it could work. There was that one game that legit tempted me. It was like that, I forgot what the name was. It looked like it was like a horror game, except it wasn't like overtly like scary and stuff. It kind of had like a cartoony kind of art style, like DreamWorks, Pixar-y kind of thing, but it wasn't like a cheery game. I forgot the name of it, if I can find it.
Well, why don't we just go into like just our general thoughts for now, just to...
Okay, yeah, I'll throw that to the bin. You know,
Alright.
Whatever. But yeah, general thoughts of E3, for me, honestly, it was, apart from like a few like oh my gosh, like real oh my gosh moments, it wasn't really that amazing, I guess.
And that's kind of what I thought. It was like, it was an okay E3 though, but really, like you said, I could probably count the amount of like amazing moments on one hand with fingers to spare, which is kind of like, it was just a thing that happened and that was it.
Yeah, like let's not even get into the fact that Sony like had
wasn't
nothing to
there.
They wasn't like, they knew that like we can't actually pull the same stuff we've been doing over the last few years again. Like we have to have stuff. Do we have stuff?
No. We got Last of Us and that's it.
Well, the best way to win is to not play. So we're not coming, and I'm guessing that was their conference meeting. So
you can't miss any of the shots if you don't take a shoot.
It's very weird to hear, like, you know, a few years back, people like Nintendo were like, yeah, we're not going to be at E3 this year, and everyone was like, oh, they're finished, they're done, rah rah rah, and like to see the landscape now, it's pretty weird actually. But hey,
we're in a really weird gaming landscape just in general nowadays, I feel. Like,
oh, definitely.
You have, you know, you got Nintendo and Microsoft getting a bit more buddy-buddy, which, you know, we'll get into something like that. That happened at Nintendo's thing. You got them being buddy-buddy. You have Sony being like, we're burnt out. We don't have anything to show. And now you have...
I have nothing left.
And now you have PC being like weirdly exclusive nowadays with all these things, Stadia, Steam, and the Epic Store and all that. So it's getting it's getting weird.
It is actually true. If you would have told me at the beginning of like last gen or this gen, you know, the PS4, Wii U, 360, Xbox One era, that like, yeah, so Nintendo's next console is pretty much going to be a handheld that can be docked, but is essentially a handheld, but it's going to be super popular. All of this, PC is going to get its own Epic Game Store, and they're going to be fighting against Steam in like the most wildest of ways. I would have looked at you with the most blank face, like, what are you talking about? Stop lying to me. Go away. But here we are.
Stop lying to
we
me.
are. But yeah, okay. So going into the actual main companies like conferences and stuff.
So we got first on the list, Microsoft.
Yes.
You want to start or me?
No, I'll let you go.
Alright, so Microsoft, I thought it was good for the most part. I mean, it started off really well, but then kind of like sort of teetered out kind of at the middle, near the end. And then it kind of picked up near the end though, so it was like, I guess in general it was good. Not the best conference this year though. I mean, their one last year was much better. To be fair, they basically showed off like most of the games from E3 last year, so but yeah, in general I thought it was good. I guess my two favorite moments, or I guess three favorite moments were I think Gears 5 looks pretty good. That trailer was crazy. What else? Oh god, what was that other thing they showed? I'll just say Halo.
You can't see it. I'll just say, smile on my face, waiting for you to say it.
I'll just say like Halo Infinite was number 2, and I guess the new console,
that was
which
pretty cool.
I mean, this kind of bugs me, where it's like they announced the new console and it's like, oh, it's coming out next year. I'm like, so you're gonna spend the entirety of the next E3 talking about the new console, which is fine, but it's like whatever.
Don't disappoint me.
And yes, the best thing from it was Keanu.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. Like, it happened, and I was like, wait, what? Okay. You know what? I was already gonna get this game, but you just solidified my purchase. Okay, thank you very much.
I saw a great comment once that said Keanu Reeves walking out on stage at E3 talking about Cyberpunk 2077 is the most internet thing imaginable.
I mean, honestly, like the time and place, like all the stars aligned. Like, this is probably the best thing that could have happened for like Xbox and CD Projekt Red in general. Just everything. Like, you know what? Everyone really loves Keanu right now.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's the year of Keanu.
You know, yeah. I mean, it feels like for a start, obviously they have to contact Keanu before they even put him in the game, right? Mm-hmm. So like, it's almost like they kind of predicted it. I don't know. It feels like it's only like recently I feel like the love for Keanu has reached like a fever pitch. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's because of like the circles I'm in and stuff. But like, it was there ever since the first John Wick. But it wasn't like, I mean, it's always been there, if you know what I mean. But it's like it's been increasing ever since the first John Wick, and like it's just like hit ahead now. And yeah, I was just like, you know what? Well played. He looks great in the game. He looks great in real life. Let's not lie. Like, it's amazing. I mean, Xbox's conference for me, like, I feel like as a conference, like as like in terms of like the pure definition of a conference and stuff, it was great. Like, if you know me, I'm not really like I've never really been like a Microsoft guy. Maybe with the first Xbox back in the day, but like I haven't been that type of person. But I can easily say yes, this has been a great conference. The highlight, which later on became the lowest light of all, was Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to the West. Like, I've been waiting for that game since 2012, 13. I've waited for ages. Ages. I could have jumped through hoops to play it and stuff, but I was like, nah, I want to play it normally. Like, it's probably the best way for me to like convince all my friends to actually jump on it and stuff like that. And so it came. I was happy. I was screaming. I was like, they won. Like, it was the first conference I saw, and they were like, that's it. They won. Like, I was talking with some friends like a week ago before that, like, if like Xbox comes out of nowhere with like Phantasy Star, like a new Phantasy Star game or something, like and it happened, I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, to find out that when they said by West, they only mean like North America region, like that hurt my soul. So it's like, the best thing of E3, like, now just got invalidated technically, unless I move, who knows. But like, yeah, everything else was pretty good. Like, the Halo stuff was great.
I just had another thought, actually. Scratch Halo Infinite. My other favorite thing was the Lego DLC for Forza. That was
Dude, that was so surprising. Like,
that was amazing. I had a big stupid smile on my face.
I tilted my head like Lego, and then I started looking at that one car they kept showcasing. I was like, that car actually looks really, really cool. Like, what? You know what? Okay. Like, honestly, I'm just thinking about the stuff that could happen possibly in game, and it's making me go, I wonder if I could try it out someday. I don't know. I mean, like,
I love how they played friggin' the song from the Lego movie. Everything is awesome throughout the whole
thing. They knew. For some reason, it feels like everyone just loves that movie, like the Lego movie. I don't know anyone who actively hates that movie. And if they do, they're probably a bad person. You can't see me, but I'm looking at you directly in your eyes if you hate the film.
Kind of a hard movie to hate, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
oh wait, speaking of Lego, take Gears 5 off my list. My other favorite thing.
Oh wow.
Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Oh my god. I love the Lego Star Wars games.
I've never seen a bad Lego game. Like, it's really weird. Like, they've always been at the very least decent. Like, at the very least. So when they're good, which is really, it's actually impressive. Like, it's actually super impressive every time I think about it. But yeah, seeing that, I was like, okay, that's another thing I might pick up.
And they said, it's not a remaster of any previous ones. It's all 9 movies in Lego form.
It's like, hey, like this is especially made for anyone who like secretly hasn't seen all the films and stuff, and is like maybe has a attention span problem with watching. Just play them all instead. More active, you'll get the story.
And they sort of hinted at that it's more like the traditional Lego games, because the old Lego Star Wars games, there's no voice acting. Which led to some funny moments. What's it called? The I Am Your Father scene in Lego Star Wars 2. Oh my god. So because there's no voice acting, Darth Vader pulls out a picture. It's like, that's me, and that's my wife.
I actually need to check that out after this. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be funny. Yeah, like, Xbox in general has been good. Like, the new console thing was actually very weird, because like it felt like nobody actually really, it's not even that they hate it or something, it's just like there was no real like applause. No one's been super hyped. Like, I feel like the same thing will happen when the PS5 gets announced. No one's actually gonna be like, everyone's like, I'm kind of good with my Xbox or my PC.
Another $500 you need to spend to play your video game.
Yeah. This is why, like, literally, I feel like in the last 5 years, PC has gained so much ground. Like, it's actually incredible. Like, the beginning of last gen, I was like, PC, whatever, I'll get it when I get it. Then I got one, and then it made sense. And then the games started coming as well, and I was like, okay. Okay, we have an issue here. Like, not an issue, but you know what I mean. Like, it's pretty interesting to see. What's it called? The one thing that they did that was super interesting was the Game Pass being available to PC and the price of it. Like, in the UK, I think you can get the first month for like £1, which is like, why wouldn't you take that offer? And the games they have are actually relatively recent as well, so it's just like, wow, this is pretty impressive. Like, all in all, as a conference, Microsoft showing was great. And then until you realize a lot of the games they showed will be multiplayer, but like, apart from that, it was a good conference. Yeah, that's what I've got to say on that.
I mean, there's nothing I can say but there's nothing I can really say was terrible about it, though. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It slowed down a few times, though, but it was like, well, they're still showing stuff, and even if a game didn't look interesting, it's like, whatever, that's a thing.
I mean, it was solid. It was solid. That's what I'll put it as. All right, okay, moving on. What do you want to start with? Okay, I'm gonna be straight up right now and say that I have almost next to no interest in Bethesda. Like, so like Doom and stuff looked cool. It was okay. For me, the highlight of that was the Ghostwire Tokyo.
That looked cool.
The Ghostwire Tokyo thing. That actually did look cool. Like, forget like the game, the presenter. I forgot her name. What was her name?
She was the highlight. She was awesome.
Yeah, she was. Her personality was just like, her enthusiasm was infectious, basically.
Yeah.
When you see someone excited about their work, it makes me excited, or it makes anyone excited. That's what I feel like, and it showed like she kind of believes in her work. If you know what I mean, like if you really believe in yourself and stuff, when you got something to show, you're gonna have that attitude and stuff. So yeah, like she was pretty cool. The game looked great.
I mean, it was kind of like just an empty conference. Like, I think unintentionally the best and worst part about it was excuse me, when Todd Howard comes on stage and just starts talking Fallout 76. I'm just like,
you really have no tact. Don't, like, really, you're gonna do this? Okay, yeah. Like, I feel like all the goodwill they amassed to like Skyrim and stuff is just like they've kind of almost flushed it all away in the last few years. Like, it's very interesting to see from a observer point of view. Like, I'm guessing as a fan, it'd be like the most awkward and like heartbreaking thing. But yeah,
I think as Jim Sterling put it though, it's like Bethesda got on stage and said Fallout 76 will have the basic features of a standard Fallout game. Applaud.
It's weird. I feel like it's weird. It's probably weird for them to realize, wait, our goodwill's running out. People aren't buying our spiel anymore. Like, we need to do something. I mean, I hope they're okay. Like, I never want any company to outright fail. So we'll see where that goes. I guess.
I don't know, but I mean, it wasn't much that really caught my eye. It was just all just kind of like standard Bethesda stuff, I guess. So
yeah, it's whatever. Sorry, Todd. Okay, I'm not sorry. Okay, moving on. Ubisoft? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was alright. I thought it was okay. I guess the thing that really caught my attention was, of course, the new Watch Dogs game. Where you get to play as a grandma and kill people.
That was amazing. That was so. I felt like that was probably the game outside of Nintendo stuff, obviously, like for me anyway. Like, that was the game I was looking most forward to. I mean, a game set in the city I live in. Like, you see places and they go, wait a minute, that actually is kind of more. That is that. Like my only like, what do you call it? My only gripe is I hope they got every type of person. You know, like, because a lot of people sound like Jason Statham and stuff, which is great, which is alright and stuff, but like, I want to hear the variety that London has to offer, even with accents. Like, I'm from South London, someone from East, someone from North, someone from West, probably sound a lot different, a lot posher actually. But like, you know, like all walks of life and stuff. So that was a good showing. Like, at first I was a bit apprehensive because I don't like permadeath kind of stuff. So like when Zombie U came out, the main thing that turned me off that game was if you die, you have to play as a new character. I was like, ugh, please no. But after seeing Grandma Helen, you know, just destroy everybody, I was like, you know what? Okay. But yeah, unfortunately though, I feel like they started off with the big guns and was running on smoke for the rest of their conference, which
they blew their luck.
Yes, they did blow their luck. Like, it's... I mean, yeah, so I started getting hype. I was like, yeah, Ubisoft, okay, you're gonna do great this time. And then it was just like, oh, okay, that was the highlight, yeah. I mean, Just Dance 2020 coming out for the Wii, that's still amazing to me. That is still incredible. That's actually very telling. Like, that's a very telling take on history. Like, yeah, so the Wii was great. The Wii U, we don't talk about the Wii U. I mean, I love the console personally, but I'm in the vast minority. So yeah, that there was this one game they were talking about though that was actually it looked interesting. That roller, I forgot the name. It was like roller skates, roller derby or something like that.
Roller Champions, yeah.
Roller Champions, yeah, that looked pretty cool. Like I was like, I actually might play this. Like if it comes out and stuff. I don't know if it's free to play. I don't think it is, but if it was, I probably would have definitely tried it at least once or twice.
They also announced, not to bring up the Stadia again, the Uplay Plus thing for Stadia.
Oh, you can play all the Ubisoft games. I mean, see, this is what is worrying me now. Like, all these subscription services are good and all, but it's like, if you're a person who likes multiple companies, this is going to be the worst thing ever, because like after you start stacking those expenses, now you're paying like the price of an actual game. You're essentially buying a game every month. I mean, yes, of course, you get to play all these other games and stuff, but it's very not, I want to say dangerous, but it's like it's unnerving because yeah, go on. Yeah,
you know, it was
if you know what I mean.
It was in college, one of my classes, we were talking about the rise of all these streaming services, and my prof had this great line. She said, "You're basically paying a digital mortgage."
Oh my god, when you put it like that, now it just makes you not want to do makes you not want to go for anything. Like, it's true, like all this service stuff, like even programs that used to be like, oh, we're gonna pay one off, now it's like subscription, because like it's a slow burn, but in the long run they will get more money out of you than they ever would have with a single purchase. And that's what's bugging me, like the intent to exploit, like as nefarious and dramatic as that sounds, it kind of feels like that's what's being planned, I guess, with like rising costs of like game dev and everything. It's gonna be interesting.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else?
Not really, I guess. I think we tackled everything. Ubisoft was kind of... I only watched about half the conference, so...
Yeah, that's literally all you need to... Like, that's the only way to describe it. Like, it was okay. Okay, one more random announcement in it. The Division movie. I was like, why is it a movie? That's the kind of show I feel like should definitely be like a series-based thing rather than a big old movie. But anyway, that's besides the point. It's like I was gonna watch it anyway. But yeah. All right,
moving on. Let's talk about the best. What I thought was the best conference this year. Square Enix.
Square Enix, right? Square Enix. To be fair, Final Fantasy VII Remake, like highly contended for like the best showing game of all of E3.
Dude, I think it was like, the best thing they showed it. Like the best thing at just E3 this year. Period.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful knowing that we've got a date at least for the first bit. Like I haven't played Final Fantasy VII, so like I don't know how much of the game that covers. That is the first disc, or I don't know. But I know is
the young early over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like it's literally like 1:30.
What was I saying? No, they said the first, I guess, portion is just a bit. You're in this city called Midgar. Now, in Final Fantasy VII, the original, that's about 4 or 5 hours a game right there. So that's just in the original. I mean, this could be like, they could expand it, obviously. It could be like, 20, 30 hours for all we know. But, it's just as what they showed so far. Oh, sorry. Okay.
No. I'll stop because you're going. So as for what they've shown so far, like what you just said now, it's at 4 or 5 hours. Like, so they're gonna stretch it out. Thinking about how much ground they have to cover, that is kind of worrying. But at the same time, I'm sure they have considered this, I guess. Like, if the games were like the length of like a Kingdom Hearts playthrough of 20-30 hours, I wouldn't mind.
Well, they said somewhere each game would be as long as, say, like Final Fantasy 13 or something. I'm not sure. So. I would say I trust them, but like I'm hoping they know what
I don't think they know what they're doing. Like, yeah, the game looks great. Everyone looks great, Kiefer included. If any of you come here try to complain about what she looks like, I'm gonna slap you. She looks great. Stop it. But yeah, like.
Here's a weird thing to consider, though, and this is Final Fantasy VII, the original.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how to word this something though, but like you will never get that game was huge. Not just like you had a giant world to explore and everything. I forget how one of the developers explained it. He said, "You will never get a game on that size ever again." If that makes sense.
Damn. And that relative scale and stuff. I wonder if he's right.
Like, there's probably more like there's probably more polygons on Cloud's nose than there is in all of Final Fantasy VII, the original. So
we have come a long way. Oh my gosh, it's actually crazy to think about when you put it like that.
But in general, I just thought Final Fantasy VII looked great. I mean, like, it looked fun. I mean, it looked like they were staying true to the spirit of the game, while I think adding stuff where I'm gonna be interested to see how they add things. Though the one thing that kind of is looking at me a bit funny, you know, the one scene where it's like Cloud meets Aerith and there's like that ghost thing floating around them or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not in the original game. That's an addition now.
Oh really?
I'm wondering, like, okay, what is this supposed to be? Because that scene where they're meeting, that's a fairly, like, it's not a hugely pivotal scene, but it's basically the first time Cloud and Aerith meet. So I just worry it'd be like, you know, ruin a moment like that. You know, meant to just be a nice moment where Aerith gives Cloud a flower, and it's like, hey, we're friends. Maybe more later.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see how they adapt everything in terms of, like, the sheer depth of the story and stuff. Like, does it mean that because they cut up into smaller chunks, they can go deeper into each aspect of characters and whatnot, or what, or like lore, or is there gonna be a lot of reading involved? I guess, like, it's interesting to think about.
Yeah. No, it'll be neat to see. I mean, I think the only sort of big worry I have is that because game 1 or whatever is only just the Midgar section, and like I said, that section in the original is only about 5 hours long or so, maybe even shorter. I guess the thing I worry about is that would this just be like padding out for about 30 hours just for one section of the game, basically.
That wouldn't be the best thing to do. That's cool.
I'm sure they have it all figured out. It's just maybe.
Yeah, they better. Like, I feel like it's a case of I feel like it's gonna be a success for the most part either way, but at the same time, it's like they better have thought about everything. Like, people have been waiting for God knows how long at this point. Like,
it's kind of funny how it just like it was first announced all the way back in 2015, and then it just went dead silent. There was nothing for years, and then all of a sudden, oh, hey, this game still exists. It's coming out next year. Bye.
Like, wait, what? I mean, yes, but what? Like, hello, it's Enix, and it just disappeared.
Also,
so.
Yeah, hello. Okay, see ya. Sorry about that.
No worries.
My mom was wondering what I was doing.
Hey.
But as I was saying, like, yeah, it just kind of felt like... I mean, I don't think the game is rushed at all. I don't think that at all. No,
no, definitely. Definitely not. It looks amazing.
Oh, this was weird. People were, you know, at one point Nomura walked on stage, and he had this line, I forget which one it was, that people were trying to take that line and trying to sort of spin it in a way that basically said, well, Nomura didn't care about Kingdom Hearts 3 and just wanted to make Final Fantasy 7.
Gosh.
I'm like, really?
Controversy too much. Yeah, I know. I mean, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, we're going to talk about that in a bit. Like, I got a bit of smile on my face to speak about that. But yeah, like, this whole Final Fantasy 7 thing in general, honestly, for the most part, it seems to have a lot of positive PR. Don't really see anyone trying anything apart from that one aspect already mentioned, and there's no point referring to it again because why? Yeah. I mean, again, highlight of E3, like a definite highlight of E3, highlight of Square Enix in general. I feel like going on after that though was a bit lackluster because me personally, I pretty much knew everything there was coming, so it was like.
I'm not to say the stuff they showed was bad, except for one.
No, it wasn't bad.
There's one thing that I will get to that. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit, though. But or should we talk about it now?
Let's do it now.
Oh god, that Avengers game! Oh my god!
I looked at it like it was. I think the conference was like 2 a.m. over here, so I was super tired. I wanted to see like Square Enix's take on Avengers. Oh, let's go. When they showed Crystal Dynamics, I was like, oh, I mean they're good. The Tomb Raider games were great and everything.
The game was great.
Like, they were really great. Like I started dreaming of playing the first one.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's just no. It's a no from me. Like I cannot. I looked at it graphically. It looked good.
It's horrible.
Art direction wise. No. Wait. Graphics, okay. Art direction, no. No.
Characters' faces look terrible.
Captain America looked like Steve from Accounting. Like
what is up with his suit? It looks like police SWAT armor.
I just need to talk to whoever decided to do this. Like, why? Like, how can you come off the heel of like one of the biggest movies of our generation, and then we gotta look at this? It's just. It was just demoralizing to see, like, because they hyped up so much. I feel like that was the main problem. They hyped up so much because, you know, Avengers is some hot shit. Like, Avengers. Everyone's like, ooh, Square Enix and Avengers? This is like two of some of my favorite things ever. You put them together, oh my gosh, this could be great. Oh, it's not. It is not great. That is not Iron Man. What are you doing?
That is not Thor.
As far as I'm concerned, the only Marvel game that I got shown at E3 was that Alliance game. Marvel, I thought all my Alliance 3. That looked cool.
That looked
fun. Yeah, like
this just looks like it looks like a PS2 game that just was forgot to be that never got released.
It's like it turned Square Enix's conference from an A to like a B plus. Only because Adventures was that much of a disappointment. Outside of that, it would have been an A straight.
But just what happened? And they got a talented voice cast for it too, but it's just like
that's the thing. Like, not even Troy Baker, Nolan North, and Laura Bailey could change my mind. That's how depressing it was. I love those three so much. I met two of them last Comic-Con last month. Like,
which one did you meet?
And then Troy Baker and Nolan North. Like, I shook their hand and stuff. Like, I was smiling for the rest of the week. My face actually hurt. But like, even when you've got like a star cast like that, but like, you know,
and then you put them in a game that looks like this.
Yeah, like you polish a turd and it's still a turd. Who knows? Maybe maybe the oh my gosh, you could.
I'm gonna die, man. That's what this game did to me.
Oh, it's crazy.
And then they showed the gameplay, as in here's a split-second moment of you controlling the character, and that's it.
I looked at it, I was just like, yeah, this isn't for me, Chief. I don't know who it's for, but I hope they're happy because I felt like Square, you killed me. Okay.
What was another highlight? Final Fantasy VIII is finally getting a remaster.
That looked good. I was like, okay, these are nice models. Like, I still remember there's this one picture where I think, what's her name? Renoa? I think. Renoa, talking to Scott saying, oh, you're a handsome man.
You're the best looking guy.
And it zooms in. Yeah, and it zooms into his face, and it's just like... like, absolutely ruined. I was like, okay.
I'm actually playing Final Fantasy VIII right now on a PlayStation 1.
Finding it?
It's good. the junction system is weird, but for the most part, it's pretty fun. I like the characters a lot, but it was kind of just like, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, do I want to beat this game now, or do I want to wait until the remaster?
Yeah.
But then I saw, but then it doesn't have a release date, but I saw Nintendo showed a thing. It was like, you know, when the games are coming out, whatever, and it showed Final Fantasy 8 and it said Q4 2019. So I was like, all right, so it probably won't be out for a while. So I was like, I'll probably just keep playing it and beat it, I guess. So.
I'll probably pick that up because right now I've recently been doing
on Steam. It's on Steam, I think. So.
Yeah, I've got it on Steam, but I was like a lot. Like I got it on Steam, I saw the way it looked. I wasn't too like sure about it, and then I heard some other stuff regarding gameplay, so I was like, I'll come back to it later. But then I played 10, which is great.
Here's the interesting
playing 9 now.
Here's the interesting thing about Final Fantasy 8, and maybe you've heard of this, but Final Fantasy 8 is kind of what's referred to as a lost game, and that when it came out, Square Enix is kind of becoming a bit notorious for this. They did this a lot during like the 80s, 90s, and even into the 2000s, where once they made a game and released it, they didn't bother keeping any of the source code for it.
Why would you do that?
This happened with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Kingdom Hearts. It went on for years.
I need to talk to the CEO. I need to ask him what's going on.
Well, no, the CEO... Well, the CEO explained this one, saying, like, well, we just made the game and released it. We never thought, hey, 20 years down the line, we'd release it again.
You hasn't played but at the same time? Yeah. What?
But Final Fantasy VIII was even, like 7, they had, I think it was the PC version released in 2013, I think it was, for Steam. That was actually made off of a build that was somewhere, I forget though, but 8 was like considered just lost forever, so, at one point, so. Read about it with the first Kingdom Hearts. The Kingdom Hearts HD for PS3, it's basically the first game recreated from scratch.
Whoa! Yeah. That's actually kind of wild.
They had like, you know, the voice acting and sound and all that though, but like, everything was gone.
That is crazy. It makes you want to try like see if there's any like notable physical differences in like the PS2 versions and stuff like so like physics and whatnot. Like, did it get everything spot on, or is there like slight?
Actually, I'll send you. There's this YouTuber. He does like he's been doing this for a lot of Square Enix games recently though, where he compares how they play on various systems. He did one for Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X on PS2 versus Final Fantasy X on PS3. It's not, you know, black and white though, but like, the characters look almost completely different. The sounds don't quite line up. There's a lot of interesting things happen. But yeah, so the fact that this game is finally getting 8 is finally getting remastered is just, yeah.
That's crazy. So I'm guessing that was why, like, when the first slew of games being announced for like Switch and other stuff, like when 8 was like omitted, people were like, why? I'm guessing this is why.
Well, there is also another reason, but it's what it is in Final Fantasy VIII. There's this song that plays by this artist named Faye Wong. It's called "Eyes on Me." Now here's where things get weird. So, I don't remember how the song came to be or whatever though, but basically, the artist Faye Wong owns the rights to the song or something. Like Square Enix does not legally own the song, so every time they re-release the game, they have to give Faye Wong a big truckload of money. So
they gotta cut that check. Oh my gosh, that's actually pretty wild.
So that's another reason. So, and we all know.
I guess okay.
And we all know how rights work. Rights suck.
Like, yeah. I'm guessing they were like, okay, I think we're in the place now where the game will probably sell enough to offset this. Alright, release it. Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, and it looks good. It sounds good. Yeah, I can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll have, I think it'll have a speed up feature and stuff, but who knows.
Oh, I actually need that. Like playing Final Fantasy 9, I've used that so much. There's a lot of things that.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 for Switch has it too. So.
Yeah, because like stuff that like take 30 seconds, that kind of like breaks the immersion and like kind of make you almost a little bit agitated. I don't know it. Like me personally, I hate it, but like, being able to speed it up is a godsend. But
moving on, the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, Remind.
Oh my gosh!
See,
I knew DLC was coming. Like there was no way they could have been like, yeah. My only concern now is if they planned that from the beginning. Now I'm going to look at them like, really? But yeah,
it looks good. You get to play as more characters. You get to play as Roxas finally. That'll be cool.
I haven't played as Roxas since freeing her over the 2 days on the DS. That was actually technically my first Kingdom Hearts game. I did not know what was happening, but I had it was honestly, I'd put that in my top 10 DS games. I didn't really know the story. You could play as Roxas, you could play as Organization 13. It was a great game, gameplay wise, you know. And seeing him again.
What else did I like? One thing I noticed immediately, they showed young Xehanort. His eyes are gray, not yellow.
Oh god. Oh no, more story elements. Oh my gosh, my head just kind of wrapped around what happened. Like, oh no, I need to get like the migraine medicine ready. Like, it's crazy.
I did read there was an interview with Nomura after. He was sort of saying what the DLC will include, and from what it sounds like, it includes a lot.
I am happy for that.
He said so the bits where like you play as like Roxas, Riku, and all them though, those are like additional things. Like you could have beaten the main story mode and you could still play those.
Oh wow.
There's a secret episode. There's an entirely new scenario where you fight the secret bosses. There's apparently in this DLC there's about as many bosses as there were in the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which that had a lot of bosses. That game.
That's actually pretty wild to hear. So they really have been working on this.
Yeah. There'll be like a new secret, sort of a secret movie for the DLC. So, more secret bosses and more story elements. The Oathkeeper key, that's gonna be a free update. He said so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I was wondering, wait, I was gonna say I thought about something just now. Like thinking about this, all this content, you know, back in the day, back in like the PS2 era and stuff, we probably might have waited, God knows how many years, for like a final mix version for free, like if it was a PS2 game and stuff. And it might have only just been released in Japan.
Well, that's the thing, the final mixes were Japan only, so.
Oh wow, so now it's just like, yeah, we're throwing all of that away. We're doing it right now. I mean, I'm grateful for that. Like, it's a testament to see how things have changed. So many things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Square Enix, good on you guys. You guys did very well this E3.
Yeah, just in general, I just thought, in terms of just conferences, I just thought it was the best one. I mean, it kept me interested. Like, despite Avengers game being terrible, I had fun watching it, how terrible it was, so.
I did. I was dead tired. I was like, I think after that, like, I just went to bed. Like, I didn't even finish with everything. I was like, no, I'm done. This is but yeah.
Oh, that was another thing I like about what they showed in Final Fantasy VII. You get to play as Borky. You get to play as other characters, too. I like that.
That's going to be so interesting to see. Like,
you get to play as Tifa, Barrett, Aerith.
See, now, question, right? Spoiler alert to anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled on 7 and who actually doesn't know what happens. Legit skip. I'll give a timestamp or something. Okay, so I found out, forcibly, but I don't mind anymore, that Aerith dies, right? Sephiroth, does
Sephiroth straight up murders her, yeah.
Yeah, so is there any point in, like, trying to level up Aerith in any way, knowing what's going to happen?
Well, you could say that, but there's a few bits where Aerith is kind of mandatory to have in the party. But Aerith has the highest magic stat of all the characters, though, so if you give her a spell material, it does, like, serious damage, so...
Well, damn. So I'm guessing it's a case of, hey, like,
and
if you want to see cool stuff, go for it.
And one of her limit breaks fully heals the party, so...
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's a case of, you actually kind of need a... That's kind of interesting. That's actually very interesting.
Like, yeah, I mean, that is kind of a joke saying, like, oh, you don't need Aerith. I'm like, well, why not? Use her while you got her, so...
Yeah, that's a very positive outlook. I actually really respect that.
I mean, like...
Yeah, okay, you know what? I will play when the game drops.
And I don't know if well, I guess you already had that spoiled for you, so I guess you don't mind if I spoil a few other elements, or... Or do you want some secrets?
Give me some secrets. I want to keep some secrets. Again, because I'm already, like, not gonna be able to play, like, the way everyone else has, like, who's played it for the first time. There's gonna be feelings I probably won't be able to fully relate to. So, I want to see if I can do something.
But yeah, I thought Square Enix in general was pretty good, I thought. And... it's great. I mean, March, that's not too far away.
Yeah, no, they were good. They were good. I think my friend Gary was hyped for the Final Fantasy 14 stuff. I don't play MMOs, but that looks cool, right?
So.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, it's good. Moving on to the behemoth that is the PC. No, I'm joking. I was going to say the PC game. You're like, no one's there. But yeah, Nintendo.
Nintendo was pretty good, I thought. I guess I could put them kind of on the same level as Square Enix's conference. I just thought it was good for the most part. It started off really well. Be like, hey, here's the Dragon Quest dude for Smash.
Oh my gosh, that set the world on fire in both ways. Like, they were, obviously, because Super Pop in Japan, they were probably super happy. People over here were like, what? Another guy over Sword? Me personally, I don't mind Swords people. You can have 74 of them in the game. I wouldn't care. A lot of other people are like, no, if I see another sword, I'm calling the police, kind of thing. And he looked cool for the most part. I mean, I think there's 4 of them. I need to know more about the character because it was that interesting. So,
from what I understand, they used basically the hero. They used 4 different versions from. Like, they use Dragon Quest 8, 11, 5, and I think 4? I don't know. But,
are they skins, or do they swap, like, battle?
They're skins, I think, yeah.
Oh, if it's just skins, then okay.
Yeah, fine. So that's pretty cool, though. Of course... I saw a bunch of tweets saying, like, hey, look at that, Goku is in Smash. Because Dragon Quest is drawn by the same dude, Toriyama.
Yeah, Akira Toriyama, yeah. So technically, like, 2 birds of 1 stone. I see you, Sakurai, I see you. Like, yeah.
He looks good, though.
Oh, it does, definitely.
His trailer was pretty good, I like him. I saw a funny thing. My friend tweeted out saying, like, "Hey, Epona is coming to Smash."
Could you imagine? No, oh my god, I would not function properly. I would be screaming. I'd be laughing so hard because I feel like that would be as much of a troll as Piranha Plant was. Like nobody asked for this, but you know what? I welcome it. I welcome it. I wouldn't actually mind like a quadrupedal. Is that how you say it? Four-legged character? Yeah. I was hoping like Wolflink or something, or Amaterasu from Okami, but...
I mean, there's Duck Hunt Dog. That's as close as we got, so...
He doesn't exist. No joke. Like, when I first saw him, I was like, no. I'm pretty sure some people are happy though, so, you know.
We'll talk about him later, though.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We'll talk about him later. But yeah, I mean, he looked cool, and... new Dragon Quest game coming to the Switch. I've never actually played a Dragon Quest game, so I kind of want to get that one. It looks fun. So.
See, I've tried before when I was younger, some on the DS and stuff. It's just that was like the height of my gameplay, like non-stop. Like, so I kind of like ended up dropping it because I had like a bunch of other stuff to try out. But from what I've seen, it looks good. Like, I've held out on getting on PS4 because I didn't want it on the Switch. Like, I feel like nowadays, not even nowadays, once they've given me the option to play like a JRPG on a console or like a handheld console, I'm picking a handheld almost all the time because of just the portability and maximum comfiness. But yeah.
I've heard Dragon Quest games are like very old school RPG.
Yeah, they're like almost the progenitors, low key. Like they were there almost to start. Like they were there for a while. When people say stuff like, yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see people trying to accuse stuff. Oh, that's so tropey, blah blah. It's like, I mean, if they're the people who started it, do we kind of accuse them of that kind of stuff?
It's a deep
question. I don't think so. Yeah, it's like, I'm there for it.
Yeah, so that's coming. Witcher 3 on the Switch. Holy crap!
You know, I was surprised. I was like this. I was like, what? How did he do it? Like, I've got it on PC, and I was like, maybe I should try it. And then I saw this announcement, and I'd be like, maybe I should wait.
Now I can play it on the couch RPG devouring Cheetos.
I mean, I've heard so many good things about the Witcher series in general.
It's not even that. It's not even so much like it's The Witcher 3 on Switch. It's more just like, holy crap, they put like this ginormous game on the Switch. I mean, it's probably not going to be, as nice looking or anything, though, but it's like...
Yeah, it's compromising.
There is no excuse. You could put anything on this thing.
Honestly, that is actually the biggest concept right there.
Yeah.
Like, looks at all the companies like, your move. Your move, my money's waiting. But yeah.
But,
I mean,
that was just, like, crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was. I feel like the thing is, though, Nintendo's Direct in general, right? Apart from like the surprise, which was super surprising, almost everything you knew was coming. Like Fire Emblem, you knew was coming. I mean, it was just like I guess it was more of a reminder. So like as a conference, like the same definition I used judging Xbox,
the other ones,
right? Yeah, it was good. Okay, I was entertained all the way through. That there might be a bit of bias involved because I'm a Nintendo fan, like everyone. So obviously, everything's gonna interest me. But I felt like they kept showing game after game after game. Like none of that weird stuff some of the other people have been trying to do. Just kept it moving, which is great.
Yeah. I agree with you there in that they were just there were some surprises, obviously, but they were showing a lot of like, this is stuff we know about. But now it has a release date, and here's new stuff for it. So that's not a bad thing. That is good.
Yeah, that's great. Like we know now what to expect, which is good.
Moving on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and I was about to move on to one surprise that surprised me: Breath of the Wild stuff.
Oh.
Related. So a sequel's coming, which like they showed a little bit of a trailer, which to me, like, kind of feels like they've done a lot of work on it. Like, if they're willing to show me a trailer and stuff, it's not like, hey, like it's announced in development. No, it's been actively done. We've been hearing stories about how Monolith Soft have been helping out. They've made my favorite RPGs and the Chronicles and stuff. So
it's interesting because I mean, there was an interview with Inoma. How do you pronounce his name? AGI Inuma? Whatever. There was an interview with him after. He said, basically, this game came to be because they wanted to do more DLC, but they just had so many crazy ideas, they just said, screw it, let's just make a new game.
I am perfectly okay with this. Apart from...
Yeah.
My only problem is... So, okay, you want to do new stuff, that's great. But is it going to be essentially the same map? If it's going to be a different map and stuff, I'm 100% on board.
That's what I was thinking. I think... Because I'm glad they, decided to go the approach. They said, we had so many ideas for DLC, though, because admittedly, one of the most interesting things of Breath of the Wild is just the world itself. It's like, it feels like, it's not just big and spacious, there's like, and not just things to do, but it feels like it's a living, breathing thing. So many, weird things go on that don't really all have crazy explanations behind it, though. But it's just like the world just feels alive, and there's also so many mysteries behind it. So this would be interesting. But I agree with you. Oh, sorry.
No, I was about to say, I was about to interject a little bit with what you were saying, just to add on to it. Like, anytime someone mentions Breath of the Wild, I always have to mention the fact that the game rewards your curiosity in the best ways possible. Like, you're like, can I go there? You know what? I'm gonna try and go there.
Yeah.
Turns out I can actually go there. He says as he's on the top of Ganon's castle. Like, again, it was great. It was great. But yeah.
But you know, obviously they just showed cutscenes or whatever, though. But that's what it's sort of what you were saying, though, in regards to the same map. I think in some sense this game will probably be out sooner than we think it will be. I'd imagine they'd be using a lot of like there's no way they'd go to the effort to make all that stuff for Breath of the Wild and just leave it be.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it'll be just like here's just the game, here's the same world and stuff, just with new stuff slapped on. I don't think it'll be quite that simple. But it'll be interesting. One thing I did like right away is that, hey, Link and Zelda are together, exploring this cave thing. Zelda has a haircut. She's cute.
Yeah, looks great. Zelda, okay.
Actually, what's interesting, just to speculate a bit here on the story, there was a neat little theory. Right around the time, just a little bit after the game came out, though, that you know that whole thing in Breath of the Wild, they talk about, like, 10,000 years ago, Calamity Ganon showed up and all that, though. Well, there was a theory that stated that maybe Link wasn't the chosen hero 10,000 years ago. It might have been Ganondorf for some reason. Because, you know, they show that dead body or whatever, that skeleton or whatever. Some are thinking that might be Ganondorf.
That would be a odd twist. So, wait, like Ganondorf versus Ganon, or
something like that? Yeah, Ganondorf was the wielded the Master Sword at one point or something. Yeah.
Yo, okay. I've actually never even considered this, and now I'm like, my eyes are wide open. Like, if that's the case, that would be very, very interesting to see.
But that's just all just speculation, really. I mean, it could be something. Yeah. I've even heard some say, like, maybe Midna from Twilight Princess might be involved, because some of the green stuff looked like Twilight Realm text, so who knows.
What? If I see Midna in the Breath of the Wild art style, okay, I think my heart's gonna explode. Like, if that actually happens, if they do that, I will be very happy.
I mean, Midna's a character I've always wanted to see return for the longest time, but
yeah, she's cool. No, she's actually super cool. Like, mischievous and everything, but also, like, powerful and whatnot. Which is...
Well, she's kind of hot, but...
Hey, I didn't say... someone said it! I mean, I agree. I wasn't going to say it first.
Well, she turns back to her, like, humanoid self. She just looks at Link like, am I too beautiful for you? And Link's just like, fuck, man. I thought you were an imp thing.
I actually want to see her in the Breath of the Wild art style. Like, that would actually be quite the event.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, someone's kind of speculated. I heard there was some speculation about it being some type of time travel type stuff. Like,
maybe,
hey, let's try and make it that it never happened. Because as you've noticed, as everyone noticed, like you said, the world was the world is alive. It's wild, I don't know why. Anyway, the world is alive, right? And that is true, but at the same time, it's kind of empty. And that's explainable due to Calamity Ganon, right? Which is wild. So I'd like to see, it'd be interesting to see if they like decide to be like, hey, let's kind of make sure this never happened. I don't know what the implications will be, because once you start writing time travel, you get one thing wrong, you've ruined your story. So...
Cough, Avengers Endgame.
Oh gosh. Like, it's honestly the hardest thing to like. As a writer, I would say just don't even bother with it. Unless like you're ready. I don't know.
I mean,
I
personally don't think there's any time travel shenanigans. It could be like, I mean, I'm not sure. That trailer was super vague and mysterious, which I really like. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like the first Breath of the Wild trailer, before it even had a title. It was just called Legend of Zelda U.
With the giant spider.
It just showed Link fighting a guardian, and that was it. So,
I mean,
what do you think they'll call it though? Just Breath of the Wild 2 or something else?
It'll probably be called, I don't know, Breath of the Wild.
The Talos Principle. No.
Oh gosh. Hair of the Tame. I don't know. Like, it'll be a cool title. I'm pretty sure it'll be. Like, yeah, I mean, that was cool. The other Zelda game looked pretty cool. Every game looks good to me for the most part. So
one thing Inoma was sort of hinting at is that he never outright stated this. It was weird. He said, "I'm not gonna." He won't say whether or not Zelda is playable.
Why would you say? You know what? Yeah, I'd rather he say she's not playable to lie and be like, no, I'm joking, she is, than to say this to find out that she's not. Like,
I think Naughty Dog
don't give
that.
us hope like that.
And like, Naughty Dog did that like prior to when The Last of Us was coming out. They said, no, you don't play as Ellie, only to later learn you do play as Ellie later.
I'd rather go that route.
But it's neat. It'll be fun just seeing, like, because that was one of my favorite aspects. Zelda was one of my favorite aspects of Breath of the Wild. I just like her character a lot. So it's great to see, and I just kind of wish her and Link just got to hang out and, chill.
It's true. It's true. I've seen a lot of fan art of people trying to explore that kind of aspect, and that actually would be a very cool thing to see.
So if it's like,
I agree with you.
So that'd be cool if it's like, say, Link and Zelda in this cave thing, just exploring or whatever, though, and Zelda is part of the gameplay. Maybe something like The Last of Us, where she can fight herself as well, or all that. So
it'll be interesting to talk, like lengthy cutscenes with Link not saying anything will be very interesting.
Well, the same happened in Breath of the Wild, where it's like Zelda would talk and Link would just kind of stand there. So
I guess I do kind of feel that it's high time to give him a voice, but I feel people be annoyed either way.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on for a minute, because I mean, we could talk up till we're blue in the face about Breath of the Wild too. So, Link's Awakening looks so cute. I am so excited for that game.
Dude, at first I was like when it first came out, I wasn't negative. I was just neutral. Like, okay, that's cool. But then, like, the more I saw of it, the more I'm like, no, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, when does it come out? Does it come out this year or 20th of September, apparently. So, yeah, I'm getting that definitely. Like, it looks great. It looks great. I mean, again, I keep saying every game looked great. The game that I wanted the most though was what was it? Astral Chain. Astral Chain looks super. Yeah, I love Platinum games. Like, Platinum games could do no wrong to me for the most part. Like, we don't count those like licensed games like Legend of Korra and like Transformers and stuff. That don't exist. They're like independent IPs and whatnot. Yeah, I mean Nier Automata. That was great. Okay, that's a Square Enix, but you know what I mean. Like when they're good, basically.
Yeah.
So seeing the gameplay of that, especially with like the Treehouse stuff, it was pretty nice to see, knowing that it's going to be a well-rounded game, I guess. Yeah.
But let's talk about the biggest surprise of Nintendo's thing. Banjo-Kazooie in Smash.
Banjo-Kazooie, like that broke my Twitter. Everyone was screaming. Like, I unfortunately don't really have a connection to Banjo-Kazooie. I never had this N64 like that. My childminder did, which is where I got my love for Mischief Makers and Mario Party 3. Like, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, he looks great. He looks like
he belongs in Smash.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like they they're really going all out for this Ultimate thing. Like, they're really living up to the title's name. Like, I'm pretty sure at least an estimate of at least 20,000 people cried somewhat seeing that happen. I wasn't one of them, but yeah, I mean, that was. I mean, the rumors were circulating for so long. I was like they do that, and then they started getting friendly with Microsoft. I'm like,
it's gonna happen.
They wouldn't, would they? And then they announced joke and like, you know what, yeah, anyone can come in this game. Anyone.
That's what I was saying.
Put Terry Crews in this game, like
that would be fucking amazing.
Power. Oh my god.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, yeah, Microsoft, Nintendo getting all buddy, and now it's like, oh my god, here it is.
Weird. It's like, I feel like they kind of realized that since they're not really in the same lane, their partnership will be beneficial to both of them. It's a really weird conversation to have because Nintendo has essentially carved out their own niche again. Or they doubled down on the handheld aspect, which is what they were always like super strong at.
A very
Microsoft
strong
is.
handheld.
Oh my gosh, their handheld's been great.
Anyways, you were saying Microsoft?
Yeah, like Microsoft, you know, branching out into the PC. I mean, it's funny because Microsoft is essentially synonymous with PC. Like, so it's like, I wouldn't say going back to the roots, but remembering they have an arsenal that they could use and stuff, and like, just they were both going in different directions in a way, but still able to. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it. Like, still able to help each other out. Meanwhile, Sony is like, no crossplay. Stop.
We don't want any of that.
Stop it. No, I want my lion's share, boy. It's like, okay, cool. Say nothing.
Yeah,
we'll shelve each other.
We get less. We make video games that are really just movies in disguise, playable movies. But no.
See, no. The thing is, you're joking. But there's truth. It's so hard to see how the landscape has changed. Like, to be honest, though, I honestly feel like it wouldn't even been like this had Don Matrick not ruined it. Like that, I feel like if that whole online thing wasn't a feature,
yeah,
the whole landscape would be super different right now. Like,
I mean, I think
a lot more sales of it.
I mean, you look back on a lot of things. You think like, oh, if they had changed this just slightly, yeah. I mean, imagine. Yeah. I mean, if the Wii U had a better sales pitch or whatever, and wasn't just like I remember when that thing was
called something else.
If I remember when that thing was announced, I was just like, so is it an extension or is it a new console? Like, what is it?
It's so awkward because, like, for me, when I first got it, I didn't have a TV yet, so the off-stream play already sold itself to me and stuff. But it wasn't even as great as it could have been. For example, like, the range through walls wasn't as great. Like, basically, it was a prototype of the Switch. The Switch is what the Wii was, which is great. I mean, seeing how stuff has changed now, like, it's crazy to see. It makes me also excited and worried for like the next few years. Like, what's gonna happen now? What crazy development is gonna come out of nowhere? Like, is Sega gonna come back with the Dreamcast 2? Sorry, I have to reference that anytime someone talks about E3. I do this weird wish that Sega comes out of nowhere.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, like I said, we're in a very weird spot for video games. Not just with like, the console and PC space, but like, what Ubisoft was doing, that whole subscription thing.
Games as a service.
I think Square Enix said something like that recently.
Oh gosh.
And now we got, the Project Scarlet and the PS5 on the horizon. And you know damn well those are going to get released, and then like 2 years later they can be like the Scarlet Plus and the PS5 and a half or something.
It's gonna be weird because it's like, how is the Switch going to compete with this? Like, is everyone ready for a Switch 2? I feel like I just got mine yesterday, even though it was technically like 2 years ago.
I think that's where the Switch has kind of found its success, though. It's like, instead of just trying to be the next Xbox or the next PlayStation, it's like, we're just gonna do our own thing and we'll see how it goes. And I think the Switch's sales are an indicator that it's gone well.
I mean, no, I agree. It's worked so far, so far. With like for a next iteration, I'm not asking for like, you know, PC specs again, but like, you know, it would be great to see that Switch is still an option to get the game on, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know I don't know what that entails though. Like, I remember hearing back in the day when the Switch was still the NX, people were talking about Nintendo had patents for like docks that would actually boost the console's power and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, the NX rumor days were so weird. It was like,
it was an exciting and confusing time.
It's like this
everyone just wanted a console.
No, it was crazy. It was like, oh, this thing will be able to cook toast on the side.
Like, everyone just wanted a console that was going to be better than the Wii U. You know, every Nintendo enthusiast was hoping it wasn't going to be a failure. Every hater was like scoffing at the possibility it could be like good in any way. Hope they're eating crow right now. Like, it was a very weird time, and it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward, because it seems like they're, in quote, finally modernizing in marketing terms. Like, if we're going to talk about their online, we have to have a serious stern talking to with them about that. But it seems like they're beginning to actually try. Because again, like, it felt like Nintendo was, how do I describe this? Like an all-powerful character who fails because he just can't be bothered to actually use his power. Like, he has the games unlocked. If he had the hardware to go with that, like, nobody would mess with them. But then they're doing fine either way, so they don't really have to do that, do they? So we'll see. Switch is a great console.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what else was the big thing? There was just a lot of other stuff they showed that was just like, not that I didn't care, it was kind of just like, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, like, okay.
Like, that Resident Evil thing they did, that was so cool. That little, like, video they put together. I mean, it was just to announce ports, but it was like, that would have been really cool to announce, like, something else, maybe? I don't know.
Oh god! I mean, they tried. That's the thing I like. The fact that Nintendo seems to be trying. I guess. Like, again, comparing it to the Wii U days, it just gives like a single tear comes out. Like, oh my gosh, they learned so much. Yes, they had to be beat within an inch of their life to learn, but they learned.
Fire Emblem looks good.
Luigi's Mansion looks okay. I mean, I don't know, like, can someone who's played Luigi's Mansion tell me the difference between the first 1, 2, and 3? I don't know, it seems like more of the same, but I guess if it's not broken, don't fix it.
What was another thing? That Marvel Ultimate Alliance game looks fun.
It does.
I do like, one thing I do like, I guess compared to like, I guess other superhero games, is that it seems like it's just fully embracing the comic book side of things. Like, all the characters look like they're ripped right out of comic book. So. Yeah,
that is which is why I love Marvel vs. Capcom for so long. Infinite doesn't count. Infinite does not count, don't worry about it. It doesn't count. Yeah.
Right.
Oh shit, I forgot to mention.
What?
Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
That is a sizable portion of the Nintendo community have been clamoring for. Me personally, I've been chill. Like, I feel no ways about it. Like, if it comes, I'm happy. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna be sad on like everyone else. But it's great to see a confirmation that it's coming. So yeah, that's nice, I guess. Oh, and No More Heroes 3. Sorry, I keep remembering things. Sorry. No More Heroes 3 was actually
No More Heroes 3.
Yeah, people have been waiting for that for years. See, I've been interested in a design standpoint. For me, like, so the character designs have been so cool. So, like, obviously Travis touched on Shinobu looks great. Like, just everything. I have a friend who's super into No More Heroes, right? He was like, he doesn't really care for Nintendo like that. So when the Switch announced, he was like, is there gonna be No More Heroes? oh wait, there is. He's like, really? But then it was that the other game, No More Heroes, that spin-off game, and he was like, no, I'm not here. But then I showed him this trailer, and he was like, okay, I'm in. Finally, let's do it. Yeah, it looks great. I'm hoping for a port of the first 2 games. Don't know if that's gonna happen though. Would be great. But yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice. I was like,
I'm just trying to look through the data that was shown up. Anything else fairly?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Everything that is needed to be covered, we discussed.
Close this one out.
I mean,
let's see. So yeah, I thought E3 this year was generally good. I mean, it felt. I mean, without Sony there, it just empty a little bit. Now, to be fair, I thought Sony's E3s have been terrible for the last couple of years, but I mean, the last good one was like 2016, and like 2017 was just like, hey, we heard you liked our E3 2016, so here it is again.
You liked it, huh? You're like, yeah, but no, but can you give us something new?
And then 2018 was like, here's Last of Us 2. I'm like, alright, looks good. And it's like, here's Spider-Man again.
Yeah, I mean, this E3 in general, again, like, it's been fun. Honestly, again, for the most part, the best part of E3 for me is watching other people live. That always makes me laugh. Yeah, in terms of, again, what they've shown, it makes me happy to know that the next 2020 is going to be very, very busy gaming wise. Like, if you guys have got backlogs, you need to start clearing them now because they're going to start piling up again next year. Again, it was decent, nothing major. Like, I wasn't even too hyped for E3. Like, for the most part, recently, like, with all the E3s you've been describing and stuff, it's been like, I've been like, whatever. And then it'll be like 3 days until E3. And like, something will happen, like maybe a leak or like a surprise trailer. And then suddenly it just like ignites everything, like, okay, I'm here. I'm here for it. Let's see what you got. And then I get kind of disappointed, but what can you do? What can you do?
Yeah.
That was a pretty long discussion. I don't mind it, man. That was pretty cool. How are we doing for time? 1 hour 16.
Well,
so I hope if you, no, I was gonna say, if you've made it to this part, like, thank you very much for listening. You're awesome. I hope you have a wonderful day. Like, yeah, you wanna sign out? Just sign out and stuff.
Well, it's been nice. Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime.
Tune in next week when we talk, or tune in next time when we talk about, I don't know, the effects of gasoline on fire. I don't know.
We need to keep it gaming, so the amount, like, the effects of gasoline on fire.
In a video game now.
But to start, I was like, what do I add? Oh no, for dramatic effect in a video game. No, that works. We'll use that instead. Yeah, with that, we're gonna sign out. See you guys later, man.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna count out to like sync it, so like when I finally put things together, I can sync it. So 3, 2, 1. Okay.